What up, everybody? I'm John by Weasel. This is Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Case 5, Rise from the Ashes. Maybe it might take another episode. I may have underestimated how fast I could, or overestimated how fast I could do this. However, there's a contradiction. Objection! I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture is true. Contains a blatant contradiction. What? But I still remember it's like it was yesterday. Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. The part of the picture contradicts this testimony. The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife that man is holding. If you look closely, you can see its tip is broken. Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright. But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? The tip is broken too. If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body. It was a conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer. I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. And where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem? It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound in the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken. Ah! What's the meaning of this? Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand. Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. Well, that's right, but what does this mean? The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken. That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered it correctly. Well, you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly. But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency. Not so fast, Mr. Ridgeboy. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already? About a little something called falsified evidence? You're treading on thin ice, right? All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility. No. Ah! Order, order, order! Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted? Your Honor? Please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. God, I can't wait to eat. I'm starving. I didn't eat all day yet. I was hoping I would get done with this faster. I didn't think it would take so damn long. Sorry for seeming grumpy. Just, I thought this would take a lot less time. After receiving the King of Prosecutors Award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gant. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Dark. It's my belief that somewhere in the story there is a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding a broken knife. If that's true, then there's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon. It must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? A broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one? There is another one. The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what he saw. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Mr. Wright, in that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. Boogaloo Badger! No. Where the hell is it? Ah, here it is. Man, we're so close to having 4 pages. I don't think you'll ever have a case with this many pages of evidence. Shit. Here. The answer lies in the past, 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture. This is a picture of the awards ceremony. Ah! What is it, Mr. Edgewood? It's the broken murder weapon. Notice the award Prosecutor Marshall is holding. That's a broken knife. As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the eyewitness saw is in all likelihood from this award. Order! 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 Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shielded knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. But that can't be. Oh, why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife is the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. What do you mean? I mean, this man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh! Oh! But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Wait, I remember now. I remember everything. My name is Alice, and I remember everything. Remember that from Resident Evil? I think it was Apocalypse. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Witness? Mr. Edgeworth? What is it? Could you show me your evidence list again, please? His list? Schindler's List? Ah, someone liked this, but it wasn't my creation. Some robot chicken. Schindler's List 2. Schindler's Pissed. His list? The one with that picture scribble in the back? Yeah. I knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it. What? You drew that? That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. At this time, I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside of me. Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recall, Miss Skye? Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the blue badger? This should be interesting. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lighting, and that's when I saw it, the blue badger. He went into the room, and I'm sure I saw his shadow. This is certainly most unusual. Try impossible! The chief of detectives hadn't even designed him until this year. I mean, he didn't even exist 2 years ago. Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. Stop! Please, don't pursue this any further. Lana, what's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair. But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that? Chief Prosecutor Skye? You've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence. The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant. Since you're finally into the court of the matter. And this part is a bitch. This part is a bitch. His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it had those 3 creepy horns. This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken. That may well be. What's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did. Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation? If so, then by all means, please tell us what the shadow really was. What was it? I saw when that lightning flash. Who's this Blue Badger, really? I just might know. Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture. And she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the event. It is the stop, tongue. It is the defense's belief that on the fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Somebody who is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright? Very well. In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that this why am I screwing up? What is it that the witness saw in this instant? Please show us this mysterious Blue Badger look-alike. Yeah, fuck this. The mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this. But that's... what is that exactly? I believe it's some sort of jar. Oh, Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger. Indeed, it doesn't, just as it stands now, just as a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint? Our viewpoint? Gotta show them. Correct angle to look at this from. Oh, balls! This is a bitch. Hang on, this way? No, let me see. Upside down, huh? Oh, God, I fucked it up. God, I fucked it up! Wow! Okay. No, I fucked it up. Hang on, I have to reset it. This isn't right. I gotta make it look more like the Badger. Allow me to remind the defense that its case hinges on the witness's job. Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew. We cannot accept this claim. Gotta find the right angle. Maybe we should rotate it vertically. A bit more. Horizontally. Come on, Mr. Wright. Have to show them. Yeah, you don't lose points for it. Fortunately. Flipped. Oh! Son of a bitch! Damn it! No, it's very fucking touchy. It is very fucking touchy, and I hate it. Damn it!
Objection!
This is gonna take a few tries. It's said in here, firstly, flip the jar upside down from where it was already stationed. From here, tilt the jar away from you using the right... Well, if you're using the DS. Make it look like a party hat. The small end of the jar should just barely be seen. This will take a few tries. It is quite a fucking bitch to do. Damn it!
Objection!
I forgot I can hold circle to fast forward. Fuck!
Objection!
I'm not making this shit up. It's hard. Hang on. Anyway, sorry, where was I? Oh, there. Oh! I meant that point. Fuck, I got it! Yeah, I looked at the video to show the angle. God. Yeah, I'm gonna need one more episode. I thought I would, yeah. So, yeah. That is a bitch. It is so touchy with where you have to have it. That was why I misinterpreted what it meant by small piece. The piece on the bottom of it, not the base. That's what gets me. Well, is this a miracle or what? No one could possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. No, it can't be. Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of this crime was actually this. Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point? What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar? That doesn't change anything. Excuse me. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Wright. You see, this changes everything! Indeed. Well, very well then. Please tell us. What's different now than What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar? Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. At a very specific angle, am I there, Mr. Wright? Yes. Well, knowing this, where could she have seen the jar? Where? The location of the jar is shown in the picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on the shelf in the office of Damon Gant. But the body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself. Yes, and it's these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room in Chief Gant's office. Are you planning the murderer removed the victim's body? From Damon Gant's office to Lana Sky's office? Yes. Why would he do that? There's no reason. Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. And the logical conclusion is that there was a reason. You know what the reason was, Mr. Wright? Finally figured it out, so this is why I want to try to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying? Well, would have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall? Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? Ah! The suit of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous-looking sword. Yes. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the King of Prosecutors trophy. No. Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking... Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless... I don't know if I can go through this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? The events took place and the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky had knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life? And then proved so with her own testimony? This is unprecedented. Objection! What? What do you say? I'm sorry, Miss Guy, but given the circumstances, Joan Arc murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? Imagine that, coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edward, I have no... Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have to provide proof. Tell me, you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? Willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with... Ah, fuck, I hit it too fast. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. I certainly can't get dead people to testify. This all has been a wild goose chase from the beginning. Touché, Miss Guy. Of course, that only leaves us with one possibility. You mean there's still another possibility? What do you mean, man, Mr. Edward? I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of a person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible! Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. Message from the deceased. Does such a message exist? I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name is in the evidence. The message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Guy. Our purpose is not to accuse them of any crime. There's only one thing we seek, the truth. No matter how painful it might be. Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased. The Blue Badger! No. I have every bit of faith. My badge proves. I can't even go through it. It's this fingerprint. It's this screwdriver. Squirrely. No. Alright, I'll get to the truth of it. The message left by the deceased. This is that blue badger from before, right? Oh, is he just gonna speak the killer's name? If that thing could, I'm sure it would. Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar! A message was left here on the surface of this jar. What do you mean? If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like somebody wiped the blood away. Yeah, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here. Drawn in blood. That's what you're saying. So these dots were once lines? Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away, but blood must have been seeped into the jar where the lines changed direction. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will be clear. No! Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us? Your Honor, I believe these bloodstains will reveal us the answer. Gotta connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim would have written in given the circumstances. His murderer's name. Did you get the picture? Do you see it? It's Ema! It's a defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocent. That is why I have been thinking about saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind. Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life was Emma Skye. Seaworthy? Can't say I didn't warn you. Chief Kid, do you understand the implications of what you've done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dock was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in the case, were you not? Ah! Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. But Joe Dye really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice. What? We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or forgery. Evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied. What's going on here? Might have sent an innocent man to his death. How could he just stand there and... Order, order, order! This is it, our last trial. Our last witness. The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. Nom nom. Yes. February 25th, 2006. 1206, District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gunshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making detective run all around while on duty. At the top of the law, you called me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Take it Lauder's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here! She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Edgeworth was talking about this the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Could we study some evidence law, really? The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Evidence law securely slipped in the pocket. How big is your damn pocket? Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Eh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. Oh, what? What is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal! You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Yeah, if we get any more evidence, we're gonna have a 4th page. 2 rolls. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Remember this. February 25th, 1252, District Court, Courtroom number 9. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Ms. Lana Sky. Mr. Edward? Yes, Your Honor. The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witness? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. Solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's no precedent for what you're proposing. Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright? You realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. The defense calls. This time's finally come to bring up the real murderer. The real murderer? Bruce Goodman! No. The real murderer, Dick Gumshoe! No. The real murderer this whole time has actually been Mike Meekins. Yes, it's likely as it seems, yes, he's the true murderer. I'm kidding! You think this weak little shithead is capable of that? No. The real one is Angel Star. No. We all know who it is. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. Anyway, as luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right. Bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this, some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requires to hear your testimony. Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean the time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. There are still some things unaccounted for. Excuse me. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this. Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well. The witness may now begin his testimony. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. The power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with this forgery. Is that what Dark? I thought I said Drake. Dark was arrested? He was lying on the floor unconscious. An innocent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Well, you already know the obvious. We can prove you have something to do with it. However, be careful what you're presenting here. You can't present this. Remember the rules. This piece of evidence isn't registered. Or, sorry, yeah, it's not registered. And at current, it's not relevant to the trial. Because I know we found that and the piece of the jar in his office. But if you try to, he slammed you for that. So your first thought may be present the jar instead. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery? But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself! Several pieces of evidence are found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe. Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Oh, sorry, Chief Gant, what is the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney whose main rival Worthy. So you admit to it then? That you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with it? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy? Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Deck will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in the light of Detective present, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at this crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. We'll get to his testimony and perhaps the final episode next time. Till then, I'm Zombie Stay zombie and I am out!